The world's most baffling mysteries aren't ancient history. Just look at Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, where a modern Boeing 777 with 239 people vanished without a trace in 2014, despite having some of the most sophisticated tracking technology ever created.
That's such a chilling example of how even in our high-tech world, some things remain completely unexplainable. What other modern mysteries have caught your attention?
Well, let's start with something that happened just a few years ago, the Havana Syndrome. Starting in 2016, dozens of diplomats in Cuba began experiencing bizarre symptoms after hearing strange sounds in their homes and hotels.
I remember hearing about that. Didn't they describe it as like marbles rolling inside a giant funnel?
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. By 2018, 40 American and Canadian diplomats were affected with symptoms ranging from hearing loss to brain injuries. The US actually pulled 60% of their diplomats from Cuba over this.
That's fascinating. Have scientists figured out what caused it?
Well, that's the thing. Even with studies as recent as 2024, they still can't explain it. Some blamed crickets, others suggested microwave weapons, and the latest government assessment points to psychological factors. But here's the twist. Some attorneys believe there's classified evidence that contradicts these explanations.
So we're seeing these unexplained phenomena happening even in our modern era. What about some of those older mysteries that have stood the test of time?
The Dyatlov Pass incident from 1959 is probably one of the most bone-chilling. 9 experienced hikers died in the Russian mountains under circumstances that still defy explanation. They found their tent cut open from the inside, with footprints leading away into the snow, some barefoot in sub-zero temperatures.
That sounds terrifying enough, but wasn't there more to it than that?
Oh, you better believe it. When they found the bodies, the evidence was completely bizarre. One victim had third-degree burns, another showed signs of a brutal assault, one was missing their tongue, and get this, some of their clothing was radioactive.
How do investigators explain all those different elements?
That's what's fascinating. They can't. The only thing they could agree on was that whatever happened involved what they called an overwhelming and possibly inhuman force. Some blame UFOs, others suggest secret military tests. And there's even a scientific theory about something called infrasound, where wind patterns create an almost inaudible hum that can cause panic and physical symptoms.
Speaking of unexplained phenomena, what about the Voynich manuscript? That's always intrigued me.
Now, that's a real head-scratcher. A 250-page book from the 1400s written in a completely unknown writing system, filled with illustrations of plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth. Even modern supercomputers can't crack the code.
That really makes you wonder what secrets it might contain, doesn't it?
Absolutely fascinating. And what's really interesting is that we know it's authentic because of carbon dating. Some people thought it might be a hoax, but the age of the paper and ink proves it's genuinely from the 15th century.
You know what really gets to me? The mysteries involving children, like the Walter Collins case.
Oh, that one is absolutely heartbreaking. In 1928, when Christine Collins reported her 9-year-old son Walter missing, the police actually tried to pass off a different child as her son. And when she insisted it wasn't Walter, they had her committed to a mental hospital.
That's horrifying. Why would the police go to such lengths to cover something up?
That's still one of the biggest questions about the case. They eventually believed Walter was killed by a convicted child murderer named Gordon Stewart Northcott, but they never found Walter's body. The case was so shocking it became the basis for Clint Eastwood's film Changeling in 2008.
These cases really make you think about how many secrets are still buried in our past. What about more recent mysteries?
Well, let's talk about Area 51. Its very existence wasn't even officially confirmed until 2013, when the CIA had to respond to a Freedom of Information Act request. Even today, employees are transported there on unmarked planes that turn off their transponders before landing.
That level of secrecy certainly fuels a lot of speculation, doesn't it?
It really does. While it's probably used for testing experimental aircraft and weapons, The intense secrecy has led to theories about everything from alien research to time travel experiments. Even those with security clearance to visit can't talk about what goes on there.
You know what's fascinating about all these mysteries? They seem to challenge our understanding of what's possible.
That's exactly right. Take the Tunguska event in 1908. Something flattened 830 square miles of Siberian forest. But scientists still can't explain exactly what it was. No impact crater was ever found, despite it being classified as the largest impact event in recorded history.
These mysteries really do make you wonder about how much we still don't understand about our world, don't they?
They absolutely do. And new ones keep emerging, like the Circleville letters case, where anonymous letters terrorized an Ohio town for years. Even after they convicted someone of writing them, the letters kept coming. The true identity of the writer remains unknown to this day.
It seems like for every mystery we solve, new ones appear to take their place.
That's what makes these cases so compelling. They remind us that, despite all our technological advances and scientific understanding, there are still things we can't explain. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. It keeps us questioning, wondering, and searching for answers.
And sometimes those questions lead us to even more fascinating discoveries than we could have imagined.
You know what? That might be the biggest mystery of all, not knowing what other mysteries are still out there, waiting to be discovered.